Okay, everyone, people were asking for the list from the premiere event where I made top 4 before losing power. So I honestly feel like I was in a strong position with the hand I had and probably could have made it to that final, but power outages happen. Unfortunately, we have to settle for top 4. But hey, let's. I'm so happy to see Sir Tractor winning. Like, he's like one of the strongest players in the game, and it's good that he can finally like just chill a bit. But yeah, people wanted to see this list, and I know that like I've played some wacky lists, and people are like, "What kind of weird stuff are you on this time?" And this isn't it. This is me just playing just straight up good cards, with a theme. There's not even like a lot to discuss here. A lot of these are just really obvious plays. I think mostly I'll just talk about how that card impacts the sideboard or things like that. Things I could change. There's like one thing in here I would definitely change, but we'll get to that as we go. But obviously, this is just Thunder cards, just good Thunder cards, and you just play good, honest Elestrals. Like, you're just playing a guy, setting back row. And that's it. That's all you're doing each turn. No fancy combos, no big, wacky ascensions. A little bit of ascending into one drops, but we'll get to that later. Astrabbit is just crazy. This card is bonkers, guys. Like, who was like, you can't remove it because it's a 5, so you can just sit on it and just keep enchanting it, and then you can use the spirits that you put on this, which are getting netting you cards. So you use those spare spirits to pay for Ambrosia, Shield, Gorgons, everything. This having extra spirits on it, like normally it's a liability, it gets removed. Just use them. Just use them to pay for your cards. So use them to pay for invokes and counters. Astrabbit is the heart and soul of the deck. Originally I built Rabbit Control, and I was like, Rabbit Control is only good if you see Rabbit. Let's just play a bunch of cards to support that. So this is still technically Rabbit Control, but it's able to function on its own legs without the Rabbit. It's just obviously when you got the Rabbit, you're off to the races. It's just the best card. So it's just a really good card, but the rest of the stuff is also just really good cards. Next, we're on 3 Spark It. This rips a card from your opponent's hand, which is value. So you get hand knowledge of one card, you get to rip another card, and then you don't even bother leaving him on field. The first thing you do with Spark It after you've ripped a card out of their hand is you just Nexus onto the Rabbit. Kill it, Nexus on the Rabbit, grab another card. You've now used that one spirit 2 times. And then you use that spirit for like an Ambrosia, a Shield, a Gorgons. You've used that spirit 3 times, okay? You've just gained 2 spirits. You just outvalue your opponent by using your spirits more than once. That's all this deck does. And if you look at the round 7 match against Sir Tractor, you see that I'm just reusing spirits multiple times and just outvaluing him. Very quickly in both game 1 and game 2 of those games, I just have a significant spirit advantage because I'm just forcing him to spend a lot more spirits than I am because I'm reusing them. So, and even when he PTAs the Spark It at one point, and I'm just like, okay, I just move my spirit, I reuse my spirit. You've wasted a PTA, you've wasted a spirit, and then also I've still got the spirit that you tried to PTA off the board. Yeah, I lose a card, who cares? Sometimes spirit economy and card economy do not overlap, and that's fine. So, very good card. If it's ever like threatened, as long as it's not a Gorgons that hits it, you can just Nexus the spirit away. It doesn't care. Very good card. Next, Jolton. Jolton is so good right now. Brummelings, getting Borealis, Arachne's Lair, and Ursaden are all super popular in strong decks right now. So you just play these. You're clearing their field spell. You're putting out a 5 because you're getting your field spell. This card is just crazy. It needs an answer because it's a 5, and you get to remove their field spell. So if they're playing anything that requires a field spell, they're immediately losing a card, going on the back foot. So it's removal for a back row, as well as it deck thins. It's a 5. It's just all round. Just as I said, it's what this deck is. Good cards. This is like huge MVP. Good cards. Next is Titanic Strike. It's exactly the same as Jolton, but it's a 5/5 instead of a 5/3. It searches Thunderstorm, which is a back row removal. It rarely comes up. You mostly don't play the Thunderstorm. The only reason you're searching it is to not draw it. This card is crazy. You search a back row removal, so if you're ever in a pinch, you can just go bang, back row's gone, I'll make a big play, if they're only putting down one, which with Hurricane exists, people do just set one back row. Sometimes being able to snipe a back row is good. Sometimes taking out like a 4 material Zeus is good, or a 3 material Zeus is good. And then having a 5/5 on top of that, nothing cleanly outs a 5/5. If you've got the field spell up, this thing is so difficult to remove without just wasting spirits. Like even a Galaxy trades. Specteris trades. So many things can't actually deal with Titanic Strike when you've got your field spell up that it's just a house of a card. So good, so good. Next is 2 Quackle. We're just spending a lot of Thunder. Like, you do overspend your Thunder. You're trying to, like, capitalize on your Thunder value. This just gives you free Thunder value. So we're just reusing our Thunders. If you're ever in a situation where your opponent's on an open board, that's time to Quackle. If you don't have a rabbit, it's time to Quackle, heal up. Just, your opponent has gone through all this effort to, you know, get you down to an even point, but it's cost them their board. You've still got cards. You just play the Quackle. Congratulations. You're ahead of the game again. Just a good card. I don't need to tell you why it's good. Boombat. Boombat is in here because I have... okay, this is probably one that I want to talk about a little bit more, but I also am choosing not to. So, over in the Lumaroos, I've come up with a very bold statement that people are playing this card wrong. I feel people are playing this card wrong. So I'm playing it a little differently to the standard way that we play it, and it works. It's so good. It doesn't always come up. There are situations where if your opponent's just on like low to the ground good stuff like this is, you just side it out. It's fine. The first few rounds I was just siding it out. But when your opponent is playing a deck that drops big things like a Void and Chrysaor and stuff like that, that's when this card is also able to just remove those. And we've already got it main deck. So we've already got that for the removal things game 1. But if you're in a game-winning position, this card is busted if you play it slightly different. So we're just playing it a little different to how most people play it, where it's just a kamikaze card. I don't want to go into too much detail on it. You might be able to figure it out from there. But honestly, I don't want people playing this card the way I think it's meant to be played. So I'm not going to tell everyone exactly how to play it correctly. But I'm a big fan of Boombat right now. It's so good. So good if you play it differently. And then the last Elestral in the deck is Arcolith. This card is just insane. Please give me 2. Put it to 2. Don't put it to 2. It's busted. But give me specifically 2. Like, this card is so good. There are so many times that you'd rabbit, you see this, you just windmill slam. Like, you just instant take this. Like, it's the fastest thing you want to take. You don't even need your opponent to put 2 guys in attack. All you need is something to survive, and then you just ascend into this, and you swing, you hit 4 damage on them, sometimes more. This card is crazy. And then you can use the spirits on it to pay for things, so you're just getting free spirits. It's essentially a heal 3, or it's a pseudo heal 3, because you can use those for runes. But also, it just, if your opponent leaves themselves open, you slap them for, like, 4 damage out of nowhere. There was one game my opponent was down to 5 spirits, and I was like, oh, okay. Cast Arcolith, run over your guy. You have 1 spirit to deal with this. Good luck, man. Next is Mount Olympus. We're at 2. If you know your opponent isn't playing a way to remove this, you immediately side 1 out. You play 2 because Stadium Wars exist now. This is this format of Stadium Wars. So between the 3 Jolton and the 2 Mount Olympus, Stadium Wars are a thing. So we are wanting to play 2 stadiums so that we can remove their stadium. And if they have a second, we can do it again. The other really good thing I do want to mention with my Elestrals over here is not one of them is a good shield target. You never want to shield a single one of these. Gets a card, rips a card, gets a card, heals 3. removal is Arcolith. There's not a good shield target in this deck. Your opponent never wants to be like, yes, I'm going to shield. So, yeah, the deck's really nice in that aspect that you just have... Your opponent will never shield you. And, like, every one of these cards gets value, so even if it gets PTA'd or removed in some way, it's fine. And they all cost 1, so if they get Gorgons, again, it's fine. There is, like... Every rune plays badly into these. Except for, like, Tsunami. But even then, like... Rabbit's a 5 defender. Titanic Strike's a 5 defender if you get your field spell. I have Tsunami too, guys. Like, it's not a big deal. But yeah, so Mount Olympus, it makes the whole deck really viable. Makes some of you guys bigger. At one point I had a 5 Spirit Rabbit, so it was a 7/10 because I had this up. And I was just attacking with it. It's like, what do you do about that? If that does damage to you, you die. And you can't get over it. So please waste your removal spells. I've already gotten all the value out of it. Alright, the next card. This is the worst card in the deck. Alright, you ready? I'm not even playing this because I wanted to. I'm playing this because somebody said, why are you not playing this? And it wasn't even a Lumaru. It was someone in the Arachne's Lair Discord, the Aussie local server, the Aussie online locals. It is Zeus. And I tell you what, there was no card that got sided out faster 100% of games than Zeus. Every time I picked up the sideboard, I took out the 3 Zeus. Across the entire event, I used its effect 3 times. I cast it twice. One of them I cast it with 1 spirit just to fire it because it was late game, and I'd been sitting on it face down for turns. Someone was like, why don't you play this because all your guys are like just under a threshold of removal. This puts them on that threshold. Because it costs spirits and you don't need it. I'm just paying 1 to not guarantee removal. Like, if I pay 1 here, then suddenly their shield is going to have more value. Their Tsunami is going to have more value. Their Argo is going to have mega value. I don't want to be wasting spirits on this. Even if it's like, oh, it's a Nexus Bank. Who cares? You know what else is a Nexus Bank? Rabbit with 3 spirits on it. This is just not... It's not good right now. It's really good when it's like a guaranteed removal because you're searching it off of Elechic. Yeah, great card in that situation. Great card if you're playing one of those decks that runs Norby, Solit, Viscerus, that you must guarantee a removal. I don't have to guarantee removal. I have enough back row that I don't feel worried about it. In case you haven't noticed, I'm playing very few Elestrals here. What's that? 9, 12, 18? I don't think 18's that low in hindsight. But technically 3 are removal spells, as people would say. So, I don't know. Yeah, so Zeus is literally like the one card I would say does not belong in this deck. It's crazy to think about, but no Zeus. I would honestly rather evolve Tempest than Zeus. Because you can at least just hard ascend into Vol Tempest and start burning. This is, yeah, I don't recommend the Zeus. I know that's like blasphemy in the Elestrals community, but Zeus just spent the entire event in my side deck because I didn't want to see it. I would rather see an Elestral here. The 1 Thunderstorm. So many people ask why I'm not on 2. Because I'm on Titanic Strike, right? 3-2 sounds like a better ratio than 3-1. I don't want to draw it. It's as simple as that. This card sucks. It's not good. Like, yes, it's playable. Yes, it can push if your opponent is playing around Hurricane. But if they're not playing around Hurricane, it does nothing. Nothing at all. So we play 1 because Titanic Strike searches it. But Titanic Strike's really played because it's a 5-5. This is just a freebie. But your opponent doesn't have to know you're on 1. You play the Titanic Strike, search, remove something, and then let's say they set a Gorgons, you play another Titanic Strike. They're like, well, he's just going to Thunderstorm the Gorgons. We have to waste the Gorgons on the Titanic Strike here, so I don't at least take damage. And then you didn't have a target anyway. It's fine. I was playing it at 2 at one point, and you just draw it. You just draw... Even at 1, I draw this card more than I draw Titanic Strike. Or it feels like it. It never feels good to draw. So we play 1. We just, if we draw it, so be it. 1 Earthquake. I don't need to explain to you why we play Earthquake. Alright, now onto like the staple runes, right? We're on 3 Tsunami. We'll put them here for now. 3 Tsunami. 3 Ambrosia. 3 Gorgon's Gaze. 3 Shield. 2 PTA. Originally it was 3 PTA. I guess I just wanted another Elestral. I think I wanted the 3rd Boombat. So, yeah, you have enough ammo here that your guys aren't dying, and you're gaining so much value by reusing spirits, because you're just paying for these off of your rabbit, or off of sometimes even Titanus Strike or whatever, or Arcolith. Because you're just paying for these off of spirits you've already used, it mitigates the cost. This only costs 1. This only costs 1. This only costs 1. This is free. Like, you're just reusing spirits. Tsunami is the only card you're really paying for, and that's because it's just so good. If they, for any reason, eddy the Astrabbit, or you can attack with the Astrabbit, and then you can Tsunami it back down when they threaten it. All around good. It did come up quite a lot that my opponent would just water enchant something, and it's like, Tsunami's not really good here. But at the same time, I would never remove it. Even against water decks, I don't remove it because it also switches my guys. Just all around good. I suppose if something's pure water, sure, but in the Draking matchup, I didn't bother removing it. It was still good. It's still good enough for everything else. I guess just count how much water that you see, and if there's enough non-water, play Tsunami anyway. But yeah, these are just good cards. And then the last card. Altar of Stars. This was probably my next most cited out card. If you're against a good player, show them respect and don't play this garbage. This is good if your opponent is not. And I had some pretty strong opponents all day, so I was citing this out a lot. So against Soren, Trish, Coda, who else did I play? Hunter Surge and Sir Tractor. I cited this out because it's just like, oh no, this card doesn't do enough on its own. I need every card to be live when I'm playing against someone that is strong, and I can't afford a card that if I top deck it, it doesn't do anything. So this card, because it needs setup, not as good, but it is live. But you can also, like, if your opponent's seen it once out of you, you can telegraph it when you don't have it. So you'll see in the finals match, or not the finals, the 7th round match against Sir Tractor, I played Mount Olympus with, I think it was Jolton, and then, or something, I played Mount Olympus, and I set the shield. And it was a really telegraphed Ultra Stars. Because I played an Olympus for no value, with 1 back row and a guy, it tells my opponent, oh, it's Ultra Stars. I've got to play around Ultra Stars. That's fine. I'll do this, which does play around Ultra Stars. And so he played the Galaxy, and it wasn't Ultra Stars, it was Shield. The Ultra Stars have been cited out, but again, I just set another card next turn. It's like, is this the Ultra Stars? Figure it out. And if your opponent thinks that you're playing a really obvious Ultra Stars, you can use that to your advantage. You don't even need it in the deck anymore. If your opponent thinks this card is live because you've played this randomly, it's fine. It's just so fine. So that's the main deck. Main deck's kind of crazy. Ultra Stars is good, but honestly, if your opponent is good, then it's not worth running a card that sometimes isn't even a card. So that's the main deck. Spirit deck, I'm not going to waste time and bore you. It's it is 15 Thunders, 1 Frost for the sideboard, 2 Earth for the Earthquake, 2 Water for the Tsunami, and sometimes for enchanting your guy to get over, like to get through a Tsunami. Like, that's it. So, yeah, 20 cards, 15 Thunders. Really good, really good. And then onto the sideboard. I think sideboard is very creative. Like, it's one where, like, unlike the rest of the deck, which I think is just standard good cards, this sideboard we can actually discuss why I'm playing cards. Quackle. Sometimes you go into time. That's it. That's why we play this. Sometimes you go into time. No. This is genuinely just a good card. I would play this over Zeus. It is an immediate value because it burns them. They don't want to shield it like everything else in the deck. They don't want to Gorgons it like everything else in the deck. It is just a good card. It's another receive, just like Rabbit. Just an all-around great card. I should have been main decking it. Genuinely, I think I sided it in 100% of the time. Immediately took out the Zeuses, put this in, fixed the deck. Card is so good. It is a 5/3 with the field spell up that also deals damage and threatens game late game. Like late game, you drop one of these when your opponent's got 3 spirits. They've lost 1. They're down to 2. They have to kill this. No hesitation. No. Oh, I have a game plan. Too bad. This has to die, or you will die. This card is just so good. Yeah, should have been main decking it. Like that's how good it is. People speak poorly on this card, but I think just if your opponent's paying like a high roll, like burn themselves strategy, like Ursaden or even the Lycovoid stuff, like it's just value. Like burning 1 of 20 spirits is whatever. It's kind of funny. Burning 1 of 3 or 4 spirits is so huge. It's like a quarter of their life gone, and they're like, oh no. Because like when you start getting late game, you have to like really manage your resources. And if you're playing a rainbow deck, like a lot of my opponents were playing like a full rainbow of colors, just losing 1. I saw my opponent in one game. I played a Toxiri, burned them for 1, and they picked up their 6 spirit deck, and they were like, I cannot afford to lose any one of these. And it's like, cool. So you're in your late game. I'm still running all Thunders. Like, I still have, 4 Thunders in here. I can just play every card I see. I don't have to, like, question what I'm losing. Riserus. We didn't get to see this again in my stream games because I just wasn't needing it. This did come up quite a bit. I think it won me a game. We play this against Norbies. We play it against Chrysaors. Anything that wants to kill in battle, if your opponent's playing a lot of that stuff, I think Gatsby was playing a lot of that stuff, you put this in, and it's like, I'll just sit on this and pass. You've got to Thunder Enchant your guy just to clear it. And at that stage, even if you do clear it, you're not getting your effect off unless you have the Chrysaor in hand already. It's just so good at slowing the game down. Just being like, haha, good luck, man. Yeah, it didn't come up too much, not nearly as much as Toxion did, but more than the Quackle did. So it's a cute card. It's just an extra body. This is one your opponent will shield, so you actually just never attack with it. You just sit on it in defense. It's cool. I like it. Cheers to No Brainer for giving me the 2 foils yesterday. I didn't even know this had a foil. I loved this card for a while. Pandora's Box. Panda Box is just so good right now. Against Distant Coda, it won me a game because I hit the Ursaden. He had to, it took him 4 turns to get the Ursicle to get to Ursaden, and then I immediately Panda Boxed the Ursaden. And he's just like, cool, I lose. Also, if you hit Werepup when Full Moon's activated, they activate Full Moon. Everyone's playing 1 Full Moon. If you activate this after they Full Moon, bye. Good combo, man. Now you've got a guy with 3 attack in attack position. You've used a back row and a spirit for nothing. Yeah, it cost me 2, but hey, sometimes you mill good. There was one opponent I milled Tsunami Gorgon's Gaze after I hit their Full Moon, and it's like, okay. Cool, man. I hope you didn't need back row. Yeah, Panda Box, so good. You can hit anything with, you can hit a Solid with it. It doesn't feel good though. I don't think I did. I very seldom used it. There was one game, I think it might have even been on stream. No, it was my top 8 match against Gatsby. I Panda Boxed the Full Moon, and then I couldn't clear the Werepup because he had back row. But it was like, okay, I can put out bigger things than the Wear Pup and just threaten it. And then he just hard ascended into the Leica Void. And I had the second one, and I didn't use it. And then in my following turn, the reason I didn't use it is because it puts out 2 Wear Pups. So even though I had the second one to stop the Leica Void effect, and I had an EQ in hand, I also wanted him to play it. So I let him hit me for damage, and then the next turn I just went Hurricane, EQ, Arcolith, swing. And that was just a huge momentum swing in my favor. And I think one of the judges asked me after the game, they were like, why didn't you just Pandora's Box if you had to? And it was like, I wanted him to do it. I would rather, like, there are situations where you just want to, you'd rather play this than Pandora's Box. This is a better card than Pandora's Box. Who would have thought? So yeah, it was just really, a really good card when it worked. Like, when I put it in and I drew it, it worked every time. So yeah, being able to, you do need to like save it though. You can't hit the Ursicle with it. Yeah, Ursicle searches or Jolton searches, don't bother. You want to hit their big plays. Oh, they just, removed 4 spirits from Ursaden. Sweet. Pandora's Box. Send those spirits to grave now and just pass. Because like that's a 4 card combo, or 4 spirit combo. Because you are playing the Ursicle, you are playing the Hibernation, and you are playing the Ursaden. And it's like, yeah, you're getting 2 out of grave, but they're just going on the Ursaden, you lose them. So you lose 3 spirits, and you're putting 1 on board with a 1/3 body that doesn't do anything. So, yeah, Pandora's Box on Ursaden, really nice. Race to the Top is inside. Why is Race to the Top inside? This card is insanely good. But it also is a brick. It is a brick. If you do not have your 5 field spells, it's a brick. And yeah, I know we're on Ash Rabbit, so we should see our 5 field spells. I actually sided out Mount Olympus for this more often than anything else. Because if your opponent isn't playing a field spell deck, so let's say they're playing Sir Tractor's water deck, or Draking deck that he was playing, then I put this in. The reason you don't put this in is because it doesn't work into Blizztrix, and it doesn't work into Leica Void. So your most common way of getting this is through Jolton. So if you Jolton for the field spell, you play the field spell, you have this live. Let's say your opponent has a Leica Void on field. What does that do? How does that help you? It doesn't. You can only remove something with 3 or less defense. So you don't bother in that situation. You don't want this for those matchups. So you side it, and then when your opponent is playing a lot of low defense guys that are 3 or lower, that's when this comes in. Chrysal, good. Leica Void, not good. So yeah, you only put it in for the matchups where you're guaranteeing a kill because something has low defense, not where you're desperately like wanting to wait for this and rabbit and field spell. Like, there's a 3 card combo. You're never going to win an event with a 3 card combo. So yeah, I side this for that reason. Yes, you can use it to remove a Leica Void if you've already got the Ash Rabbit established, and then you do all the stuff. But that just doesn't come up enough for it to be worth main decking, especially because sometimes you will draw it without the field spell, and it's just not very nice. So when you're taking out brickier cards like Zeus that don't do anything, you can then afford to play more cards that don't do anything. But I still think it's a sideboard card. It is, in fact, technically, the 4th Cryoblast. Yeah, it is just the Cryoblast 4. We are main decking the Frost. The reason we're actually main decking the Frost isn't so much because we can play around other Cryoblast. It is because if our opponent is playing a Frost deck with Brummelinks, in a pinch, we can Frost enchant like a Titanic Strike and get over something, or trade with something. That's the reason we're main decking the Frost, is because it can come up. I had room to main deck 1 extra spirit, so I did that. Pick the Frost because it's just pre-siding for this. And the last cards, 3 Hurricane and the 1 Wind Spirit for Hurricane. I don't think I need to sit here and talk to you about why Hurricane is a good card. Honestly, towards the end of the event, I stopped putting this in. I put this in against a few people because it would like win a game. I mean, they'd set a lot of cards. They set a lot of back row, but then you just get in a situation where you're sitting on a hurricane for a few turns, waiting for an opportunity to strike that's worth paying 3. As I said, my guys don't get hit with back row very often. It's very low value to hit any of my guys with back row. So I actually kind of don't mind a lot of the time with their back row. Like, you would have seen in the game against Sir Tractor, if you watched the stream, that he regularly had 2 or 3 back row, and I had a Thunderstorm, and it's not worth Thunderstorming. And even in that situation, I don't think I would have Hurricaned because I still had control of the board, because I had nothing he wanted to use those runes on. They might not have even been live. It just doesn't matter. So, Hurricane, yeah, it's good. It's a good card. I wouldn't take it out. But I certainly started siding it out for Game 3 after siding it in for Game 2 when I was like, wait a minute, this didn't help me. It is such a bait card, and you've really got to pinpoint exactly when to play it. I think it's not so good in this deck where battles aren't critical. When you're playing things like Norby, Chrysaor, Viserys, battles are critical. And landing a hit is critical. In this deck, I don't care. So it just doesn't come up that often. It does if your opponent is playing like crazy with their back row. But even then, it's like, it's fine. It's just an okay card. Anyway, thanks for coming by, guys. That's my Thunder deck. I feel like I could have won if my power didn't go out. I don't know how I would have gone against Bean Soldier, but I felt like I was in a winning position against Sir Tractor, just because of the hand I had, which was like all guys. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.